Nariko arrived in the remote village of Niputay in central Hokkaido. The villagers, cautious but otherwise disinterested in her arrival, went about their business as Nariko and her companions crunched through the snow towards the center of the village. There they were met by the village chief, a man who had fought and traded with the Japanese in equal measure, learning enough words along the way to interrogate new arrivals.
Samurai, you will remove your helmet.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean any insult. I'm just a little cold.
You... Sister, is that you?
No. My name's Nariko. I'm from Kyushu.
I understand. You are here to seek the Shrine of Heaven?
Maybe. I mean, of course, yes. Can you tell me the way?
No. The priestess can tell you the way. But I warn you, if you have not been called to Shrine by Spirit of Heaven, you will not find it.
I see. Thanks. So, where can I find the priestess? Welcome, travelers. You there? Is your name Nariko? Yes, it is. She really is magic. Sorry, excuse me.
Was it something we said? And she's off. Strange. Well, seems like she's heard of you. Guess folk out here don't meet famous warriors very often.
That can't be it. I think... hang on, here she comes. Sorry, everyone. I'm very happy to welcome you to our village, Nariko Dono. Is something wrong, priestess? Were you expecting someone else? Yes, I was expecting anyone else. I mean, no, I wasn't expecting anyone. I knew some samurai were coming, but they came and went already in summer. Someone was here before us. Yes, no one, but these last 2 decades have seen many come in search of the Shrine of Heaven. So much for us having the only directions. There are other guardians who know the way, or there were. I haven't been to them. Did you find your directions in a cremation urn? Yes, we did. You knew about that? Yes, and barely anyone else did, so that explains something. Sorry, but it explains what exactly? Remember, we can't use magic to read minds like you can. I know. I apologize. This is my fault. I'm feeling a little ill, but I'm happy to help you. I'll do anything. Well, it sounds like this Shrine of Heaven is the site of something we're looking for. It is the site of something the gods would like to give you, and it is my duty to make sure that the gods make their desires clear through the ancient rituals dating back to the first emperor. Sounds like we're on the right track. What do we have to do? For all of you but Nariko, protect the candidate with your life. Done. Next. Well, there are many tests of... Actually, it doesn't matter. Nariko passes them. Well, that was easy. But there is one thing, the last trial, that I can't get you out of, since it's not up to me. Who is it up to? The gods, and the rest of the tribe by their will. Your troops will stay here. You, Nariko, and your guardians will follow me. I hope you are as skilled with your weapons as I have heard.
Oh dear. Hello and welcome back to Nariko's Treasure, where Nariko, stripped of her party and now accompanied only by Chief Sanma, her companions, and a few of the local tribal warriors, is now being taken on a journey by Chief Sanma, apparently to find the Shrine of Heaven. On the way, we are tested by some Izo warriors who come in to do battle with us. There's 11 of them and 8 of us, but we've also been stripped of our equipment and forced to wear the traditional gear of the Izu peoples. So now we're at a little bit of a disadvantage advantage, aren't we? But we do still have one advantage in that they've allowed us to keep, for now, all of our weapons. So we have Teppo, something that these tribal people certainly don't. So we can try and use these to our advantage. So first I moved that little team up onto the side of the hill where we could just about see the enemy approaching in the background, and Nariko's sharpshooter skill is going to come in very useful, just dropping shots through those trees and taking out the approaching enemies. Our party member is going to try and do the same, and Chifsanma are going to wait at the back. She's unarmed, guarded only by the other tribal warriors, but I can only assume they have some sort of arrangement here since this is supposed to be some sort of sacred trial. But they seem to be okay with us actually shooting them, so they've clearly dedicated themselves to this a fair bit. As they get close, we need to go into melee because we don't have time to reload anymore, and Nariko needs to show her stuff. Luckily, she's got good stuff, and immediately 4 enemies are sliced down in a rampage. A 5th one almost gets away, but is slashed. Then Nariko takes a pretty hefty hit across the stomach, losing half her health, but then wins the duel with the final warrior on the enemy's side. So suddenly, in the fashion of a true samurai, we have cut our opponents down with a lightning speed. Absolutely no warning for those enemies that Nariko is going to rush out and take them all on at once, but it worked. So that's victory for our party, and Chifsanma will now lead us on towards the side. Some larger bands of warriors were nearby. Luckily, they weren't on our route to the shrine, although one team there is actually following us. So the shrine's location, according to Chifsanma at least, is up here in the mountains, really far off the beaten track now, so we're completely alone out here, but, as it turns out, for the shrine's guardians.
You fight fiercely, but the tenets of the shrine are very clear. The one who makes it to heaven will require only their own strength, with these Izo men as witnesses. The shrine is guarded by many warriors. Nariko, you will slay them alone, and without that Nanban toy, sorry to say. Win, and the treasure is yours. This treasure is something serious, isn't it? The most serious thing it could be. Hard to turn away from that. Can you do it, Nariko? If I can't, then I don't deserve to continue on. Whatever happens, happens. Wait, you're not going to walk off to your death just like that, are you? What are you talking about? All that's about to happen is a few people who pledged their lives to guard the shrine will see their oaths fulfilled. Hold nothing back, Nariko Dono. Thank you. I'll be back soon. And if not, you decide among yourselves who's in charge. But just to be clear, you mean I'm in charge, right? Nariko? Nariko? You better come back.
Handed a ceremonial longsword and an Izo hunting bow, it's time for Nariko to undergo an ancient test of strength, a test to see if the candidate has the god's favour in order to find the Shrine of Heaven, and that test involves going through all of the guardians of the shrine arrayed here over these hills and caves. The Izo warrior that appeared to get things started is easily cut down. The sword that Nariko's been given is longer, although less powerful than the katana she usually has. That means she can hit the enemies from further away, just about. She can't hit the enemies though with her bow because she's not good enough at using it. So although we can see some more distant foes, including a line of guys beside a building up there on the ridge, we can't hit them from here. We need to advance up. As I was going to though, someone appeared from behind me, and this is no tribal warrior. This guy has armor, a naginata, and a gun. So it seems it's not just the local tribes that are defending the shrine. There's some sort of warrior monk band positioned here as well that we're also going to have to fight our way through. Another enemy appears behind me as I try to go up the hill, but he goes down to a cheeky side swipe from Nariko as she dodges his first attack. So now we actually can try and get up the hill, but the enemy are coming down the hill to us. 2 more Izo warriors appear, but they are nothing to worry about thanks to Nariko's skill with the sword and that added reach, which means that in a one-on-one situation she's going to be pretty safe even without the usual armor protecting her from damage. Now finally actually getting up the hill, I just covered 1 more enemy waiting outside this cave, so now here's a shot with the bow Nariko can make, and the unarmored enemies go down in a single arrow, which is great because we do have of course a very limited supply of arrows to use, and since we're inaccurate we're not going to be getting all that many hits with those arrows, so we need to make every hit we can get count. So now I advanced closer to the other cave where the enemies we saw earlier were waiting. I tried to provoke them by firing an arrow towards them and actually get a hit on my first shot, and a group of enemies starts coming towards me. All the subsequent shots just go past them because we're not accurate enough to actually hit them. There's a hit against that warrior monk. So that was the real target I wanted to take down, because the long reach of his Naginata could be dangerous. 3 Izzo warriors come up to fight me, but I'm not too worried. They can easily be cut down in quick succession, especially because they came up in single file, extremely generous. The perfect situation for Nariko to deal with her experienced sword skills. Another warrior monk appears and just goes out of bow line of sight. I'm going to move backwards here and draw him up onto this raised area. And I realize that my shadow can give me an advantage here, because if I look at the ground, I'll be able to tell if an enemy is coming up behind me or is spawning behind me. So this is great news. That enemy Nariko doesn't have any time for, just cutting him down with a shot to the face with the bow once he gets close enough for that to be possible. I tried to draw some more enemies over to my little piece of high ground and get a really lucky shot, actually hitting someone in the head, which kills them, but it doesn't provoke the men around him, and my subsequent shots actually miss. But I'm going to cool this off because I hear a noise, which you probably didn't because it was so quiet, but when playing you can hear someone unsheathing a sword in the distance, and indeed someone has spawned down near this cave, so we'll go and fight with this guy. We have the high ground once again, and he makes a hopeless swing towards my feet. No chance of even hitting. That high ground coming in very useful. We simply cut him down and return back to my project of trying to provoke the enemies. And actually a few enemies were coming towards me this time, although another enemy spawned back by that cave, and he had a gun, so we needed to be careful here. Tried to shoot him with the bow, it hits but he doesn't die, so we still need to be aware that in this melee happening here, we could be shot at any moment. So first we start working through the warriors, positioning ourselves to make sure we fight them one-on-one, and it goes great. We cut down all the warriors. Another warrior coming in on my right, distracting me from going after the gunman. We quickly cut him down, and the gunman has finished loading. We dodged the shot with a quick sidestep. Now we can go in for a melee with him. He has the Naginata outreaching us, so we just try and keep close to him to make sure we can hit him with the sword, and he went down fair enough. So that's the end of that little part of the engagement. I can go back to trying to get more enemies to come towards me. There's a whole load just behind that building over there. I once again use up precious arrows to try and provoke some to get them over to a bit of ground, which will favour me. And I'm desperately trying to hit the gunner in the background there, because I don't want that gunner distracting me from the fight. But since I couldn't do it, I decided to run away and get to ground where the gunners down by those buildings couldn't see me. So these Eze warriors approaching will now be fought in isolation. I use the bow to take up the guy who's throwing stones, since the stones can basically cancel your attacks and blocks and leave you very dangerous in melee. And then the melee warriors themselves aren't really any problem for Nariko, of course. Once again, their lack of armor and lack of combat skill, it seems, makes them easy targets for her. A warrior monk appears. He was loading a gun, but he switches to a Naginata. His long reach giving him a tiny bit of an advantage in this fight, but he can't swing it fast enough, so he goes down once Nariko gets him into the sweet spot of just being in range of her longsword. So now, advancing back towards the fight, I started taking gunfire. It looks like more enemies have appeared with lots of teppos. 5 shots going past me. I'm taking volleys of fire right here, so I needed to stay away from the enemy as far as possible. I climbed up onto the hill overlooking the caves, and in the distance saw more enemies had spawned back where I came in, so that was good to know. Then more shots start passing by me. There's one guy behind that building who can fire at me, and there are more guys back down where the other cave is firing up at me. So basically wherever I go at this point, I'm going to be under gunfire from one direction or another. We need to be super careful and try and get some melee fighters to come up over these hills so we can fight them while in cover from the gunmen. And I managed to get close enough to draw a few guys up. And now we're going to try and take them out with the bow, especially the guys who are coming up with guns, because we want them just gone before any melees start. So we'll use up more arrows on them. We managed to cut down 2 in quick succession, which is great. We're taking more shots and not even concentrating on dodging them now, but they're missing us, so this is just plain old good luck. That warrior monk seems to back off once he gets near, and that gives me some time to load up the bow to take out this other monk. I tried a body shot on him since it looked like he wasn't armored, so I thought a single arrow might take him down, but we had to use 2 on him in the end. So now another monk appears swinging a massive Naginata, but he gets cut down because he was swinging too vehemently. He wasn't even anywhere close. So now I need to have a little peek over the hill and see what's going on. There are 2 gunmen who immediately fire at me, and the shots actually hit the curve on the hill there. So this particular arrangement is really suiting us. We're kind of in cover just because that hill curves so much that they can't really see us or see much of Nariko from where they're positioned, and we were able, using all of the last of our arrows up, to take out both of the gunmen there. There's one more warrior monk who slashes completely out of range, wasn't even close there, and he goes down to a charging slash from Nariko. So now I need to advance forward and survey what enemies are left, and we see a few down there. and one of them shoots me from a massive range. A pretty lucky shot, or maybe he was just really good, but it takes off Nariko's health down to half. One more of those and we'll probably be out of this, especially if it's from a closer range, because those shots do have damage that drops off dramatically at range. So I guess it was lucky we were shot from so far away. So I'm sneaking down to this cave to be closer to them, and 3 warrior monks come out to fight, including one of them with the gun. Now I want to step back from this fight and get to a position where the gunner can't see me, but there's no good cover, so I just decide instead, let's try and end this as fast as possible. We cut down the 2 first monks with ease. The gunner misses me, and we come in for the fight. He swings from really far away as well. All of these warrior monks doing very wild swings with their naganatas. They seem to overestimate the range of those things, and now all I can see is one more enemy in the far distance, so I just charge towards this guy. It's another monk with a naginata. I step backwards as he looks like he's going to stab me. The stab misses, and a quick charging slash to the face brings him down. We've defeated them all.
I wasn't worried for a second.
No, much longer than that.
Incredible, Nariko. Thank you. Maybe I'll feel better about it once the bruises are gone. And so the trial is past. I knew it would be you who did it. You really are.
Never seen a woman so emotional over skill at arms.
What, you want me to cry every time you dodge an arrow? Priestess, you are too kind, really. Tell me something. Did your father teach you to fight like that?
My father?
No, really. I learned to fight from a swordmaster in Kyushu after father died. Oh, I see. How did he die? He died... No, look, it doesn't matter. Please don't worry about me. I don't think I understand the sentimentality here. The way I see it, you have a deal to keep, priestess. Yes, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, the deal, yes. The problem is, the shrine isn't here.
What did you say?
You put Nariko through all that for nothing? Is this a joke? But I'll show you where it is, really. Please. No more trials. I'll take you there. It's just not here because if someone failed the trial and survived, they might return with an army. I couldn't show you the real location.
I was going to point out your mistake, but there you go.
It's been hundreds of years since anyone passed the trial, but plenty have tried. But that's all changed. Now I will be happy to escort the famous Nariko to the real Shrine of Heaven, to claim what the gods have decided should be hers. The priestess Chifsanma took Nariko and her friends to Niputay, where, after a brief rest, they were joined by a band of Izo tribe warriors, an escort for the journey east to the true location of the so-called Shrine of Heaven. Walking through snowdrifts and against biting winds, with not even trails to lead them, it was a journey impossible to complete without guides and determination. But eventually, the smell of sea air found them on the breeze. In a secluded spot on the island's eastern coast, Chifsanma stopped the party. Nariko, the shrine is up ahead. You shall be the first to see it, and the only to enter. Understood? Yes, of course. And of what is inside? You have the right to take or leave what you see. Consider no one's destiny but your own in the decision. After all this, only she gets to go inside? It's not going to be any warmer in there. You won't even let a girl have a little hope. The Shrine of Heaven was but a mere hut, in disrepair and with the only door half buried in snow. After some effort, Nariko was able to gain entry. Of what she expected to see, there was nothing. No gold, no weapons, no armor. Nothing considered sacred treasure by any standards through most of history. All she emerged with was a folded sheet of cloth, inside which was a piece of dirty metal in a black octagonal frame, and a polished stone not unlike the jewellery of the Ainu. Well, I'm not running away from you this time. Here it is. A plate and a broken necklace. Even if they belonged to Emperor Jimmy or whatever, I dare say the Shrine of Heaven's seen better days. The physical form of the treasure is irrelevant.
No, it can't be.
What?
Don't tell me that the real treasure was the friends we made along the way.
Oh, I think it just might be. And don't get me wrong, you guys are great, a real dependable bunch, but I don't think I'd be dodging bullets, stitching up crying girls, and sleeping in the rain and freezing my damned arse off just to win your friendship. This is insane. Please, Mary, it can't be. Kojiro?
I can only say what I see. I think I'll drink whatever Mary's drinking.
Yeah, Jungyun, come on. There's got to be more to this. Does this change the meaning of the message? Jungyun?
I think you should put those down.
What, these?
Very carefully, extremely carefully, place those on the ground.
If you wish. You're being weird, Jungyun.
I'm being weird. Mary-sama's gone insane, and Lord Kojiro's ready to live up to his reputation, and you say I'm weird for wanting you to not damage the most valuable artifact in the land?
Hilarious. Can we all stop mocking? You're making
Those are regalia. Wait, what did you say? You, my lady, were holding in your right hand, with very little respect, the mirror of Amaterasu, and in your filthy left hand you had the necklace of Magatama.
The what? You're making this up.
Quiet, Mary. Are you serious, Jungyun?
What else could it be? The legendary artifacts? Created by the gods.
And more than that, those things are how the gods choose their representatives in our world.
Wait, you're saying that Lady Nariko has just been chosen? Almost. I can tell that some of you know something about the Imperial Regalia already. Perhaps we should return somewhere warmer so I can explain it in full.
The strange mirror and jewel were carefully placed in a hide-lined box offered by Chief Sanma before the party raced back to Niputay. Once they had finally stopped shivering enough to speak properly, the priestess offered a full explanation of the seemingly worthless treasure.
And with the Emperor dead, that means the Regalia have regained their power, right? That's right. Ever since the murder of the Imperial family, the Regalia, if all brought together, have had the ability to bestow the power of the gods onto a new Emperor. And you're sure you totally don't know where the last one is? One of the samurai lords might. The third Regalia, the grass-cutting sword, was taken from the Shrine of Heaven decades ago, before my time here. Rightfully, I should add. The Emperor requested it, and when an Emperor walks the earth, the Regalia are his property.
If it was in the capital during the fall of the Emperor, then there's no knowing what could have happened to it.
Yes, there is.
The message said nothing of it.
Not the message. My father's treasure. The Imperial treasure he smuggled out of the capital before the palace was attacked. What if it wasn't a decoy? What if that was the grass-cutting sword? Your father, if he was in the capital at the time, I'm certain he got the sword to safety.
How can you be certain of that?
Please, just trust me. More priestess magic, huh?
But your father's blacksmith was destroyed, and as far as we know, there's been no talk of a treasure of that magnitude being found. And you can bet there would be talk if the pirates got it. So he must have hidden it somewhere. Any guesses, Nariko?
Yes. I know exactly where it is.
A hunch turned to concrete truth in Nariko's mind at once. The very next morning, she ordered her troops to break camp and prepare for a return not just to the realm of the samurai, but all the way to Kyushu, to the halls of the one man both she and her father could trust, the swordmaster Ujie. While the party was frustrated to be told that all they had found was another clue to follow, they were at least happy to escape the biting cold of Hokkaido. That they had found anything at the shrine remained a secret between Nariko and her close companions, for truly none could be trusted with the knowledge of what the Regalia were capable of, and even she carried the burden of such a discovery with some regret.
Where is Lady Nariko?
Gone on ahead, I think. She can't help but rush.
Ah, yes. I understand. Sorry, she's not good at remembering her goodbyes. She's down with one thing and on to another, you know. It doesn't matter. Probably for the best that way. But pass on my well wishes, if you please. Why don't you join us? All the stuff you're meant to be guarding is now with us after all. Ordinarily, yes, the priestess of the shrine would escort the Regalia at all times. But on this occasion I shall trust in all of you to take care of them. I cannot...
You cannot return home, is that it? You look and sound like you're from Kinai.
My past was erased when I joined the tribe. I knew there was something roguish about you. Don't worry, we won't tell. I'm not above hiding from the law myself. You have my thanks. Good luck on your journey, to you and all you walk with. There was something else, though.
Something else?
It wasn't just the roguishness that seemed familiar in her. She,
Looks like Nariko.
What? Maybe. No. I was thinking more like a beetle or something.
Better keep that to yourself. Guess it's just me that sees it. Come on then, before she rides off without us again. So thanks for watching. As you may have gathered, we'll be making the journey west right back to where we began in the next episode of Nariko's Treasure.